Yeah, you can't find it anymore.
Yep, I had that on a flash stick because it was one of the coolest things in the world.
Yeah, and if I remember, it was just a DLL. You dropped it in the Windows directory, rebooted, and now you could read Linux machines.
Yeah.
You see me
But
connect?
that was back before Microsoft liked Windows or liked Linux too.
Well, they really
Yeah.
like the Linux.
Microsoft loves Linux. What are you talking
They're
about?
just pretending to. If they really liked Linux, they wouldn't have squashed Corel Linux, and they would have went to Linux 20 years ago.
Well, 20 years ago, it was still under control of Bill.
Well, that's what I meant.
Bill has very
they had a
little say-so anymore.
Scorched earth policy on anything Linux. When Corel Linux came out, and it was like, oh my gosh, all you got to do is drop the disk in and hit turn the power on, and it installs everything. And I have Lotus
You got a
nodes
Chromecast connection for me?
I don't know.
Or what was it?
Yeah.
Corel
Matter of fact, I
was,
do.
what was it, WordPerfect?
Yeah, WordPerfect and
All
Corel
that
Draw.
built right into the operating system. It wasn't a separate package. You had all your Office apps ready to go. Didn't have to touch a key.
You know, I find LibreOffice pretty usable these days.
Yeah.
They haven't added a feature to a spreadsheet or a word processor in 20 years that I care about.
I don't know. I've been making some really fancy Excel sheets this last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've almost automated my entire job. It's like, wow.
So I got a thing on my, I'm Jim. I got a thing on my phone, my watch this week. This is my Fit watch that I paid $17 for. And this is the app on the Android. And it says I got 901 steps on the phone. Now it reset. I had to charge it. It was ill last night. I was feeling much better today. And these are the readouts. This is sleep. I slept 5 hours and then 9 minutes. I was up a couple of times. You get older, you make choices. Heart rate 68 beats per minute. Blood pressure 135 over 82. That's probably more like 100. It's generally high. Oxygen 95%. That's a little low. This is not active. And this is fatigue. And I did a little traveling this weekend, and it did nail me for fatigue, mild fatigue. It did detect that properly. I was not feeling good. And the ECG is normal. I'll show you more about that as we go. This is the sleep thing today and showing me awake. I was doing an audiobook last night, so I'd wake up for one of my visits to the restroom, and then I would go back and listen to the audiobook, and they last about an hour. This one didn't read too long. Let's see, I want to go this way. This is sleep this week, and it's showing Sunday. That's kind of weird. Daily sleep 4 hours, 36 minutes. Awake three times. Fell asleep around 11:38. Daily sleep deep 5 minutes. Yeah, that was not a good night. That night wasn't. That's after a trip. Here is the sleep. That's the monthly sleep tracker. This was...
It disappeared. It shrunk. It shrunk. I mean, that was weird.
Was
Do you think it's accurate?
it's semi-accurate. It's getting there. If there's nothing disturbs it. See, those are, when I was there, I know I slept 9 hours, and it reported 9 hours.
Good.
Okay, so good. That's good. Daily sleep 10 hours 44 minutes. I'm trying to catch up on sleep. Fall asleep at 11. Now I was changing time zones on this one, so that could be misleading. Okay, here is blood pressure, and it was showing me this is the 9th, February 9th, and showing at 5, it does hourly readings apparently, and checks my beats per minute. 75 is a bit much for me. 78 is a bit much for me. This is travel day. That's high for me. And you'll see a little bit later.
Little
that
road rage there.
It'll show you the
Good
exceptions.
little smack down on some people.
And here's the heart rate daily, showing you the average heart rate on the daily basis. Or today, rather, excuse me. And a chart. And this is this week. This is the first day of the week, it looks like. Highest and lowest. So to show you the highest and lowest of each day for the heart rate. And there's even more about this. I think that's for the daily again. And here's the blood pressure estimates per hour. And like I said, the blood pressure looks like it's not that reliable as we suspected, as you guys indicated it wasn't. But I think it does will tell you if it's low or high, but you have to know where that is. Here is the today's trends of blood pressure, and that's not today, that's whatever date I did this. Oh, here's blood oxygen, and here's some 95 is kind of getting low. Usually I'm 99, 98. I have one on the treadmill and I'm 99, 98. Get down to 97, that's a little bit low for me. 95 is pretty low. So here is today, and it looks normal. 97% average. They consider that normal. And here's the high and low for the week, and this is done on a Monday, so you don't see a lot. They have a monthly too, so there's a monthly blood oxygen, and as you see it kind of droop. This is probably travel day here. You're gonna kill me. So,
But you had a lot of steps.
You
Yeah.
say, were you running treadmill or something?
this is fatigue, and this fatigue thing told me, hey, you're tired, man. And it's got little cups of coffee here. What does that mean?
My car told me I was tired the other day.
By
Mild
pulling
fatigue.
over?
43 is mild fatigue, and here's the trend. There's the highest and the lowest. I don't know how they calculate that. They must be using oxygen and heartbeat or something.
Well, that's probably
Here's this
overall
week.
analysis.
Here's this month, and showing you the fatigue peaked. That's probably travel day. Yep, that was travel day. So I was fatigued that day. It also does, this is the little display that shows you that it's taking the heart rate. This is not the heart rate. I'll show you a trend. History. This is showing 2 recordings. It saves them in PDF format, and you can mail them or broadcast them or SMS them or whatever you want. Okay, this is another screen. This is one of the main screens. This is personal information. I don't know who weighs 260 pounds, and the goal is 4,000 steps, height 69 inches. Nobody's exaggerating nothing here, just saying. Here is some warnings. I think I did this again. Yeah, let me go back. Here are some warnings. Blood oxygen is low, 88. Yeah, that was at 11 o'clock. Heart rate is low, 58 is a little low for me. Now this is warnings. It'll send you warnings if you're out of bounds. Oxygen level 91. Yeah, that's low, 88. I've never seen that. And heart rate is low, 90 at 9 p.m., 51. That is low for me.
Maybe somebody have a pillow over your face?
Not for long, just for a minute or two.
They won't get away with it because it's all reported to my doctor. Okay, here's the exception details. This is, again, showing the exceptions. That's 12-hour clock. Google Fit, apparently Google has interfaces to these. These all watches run a standard way you can talk to them via Bluetooth. This app is Bluetooth.
You don't even need the device. Just have Google Fit on your phone and carry your phone with you. It'll tell you a lot of stuff.
Really?
Okay.
Mostly step counters and whether or not you're tired or how well you're resting.
How
Oh,
it
okay.
detects the tired. I didn't think I'm tired at
it-
work because I
it-
set the phone on the desk and I walk away.
Well,
Sleep.
it's not good. I'm not saying it's good, but it tells me every now and then that I need to stand up or something if I've been
Yeah,
sitting
start
too
moving.
long.
Yeah, like O2 absolutely would tell you if you're tired. That O2 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
did this work.
it mostly keeps track of how many steps you take, and it really only works if you're carrying your phone around in your pocket. So
I did some work at this company, Grace, and they had software running on everybody's computer that would tell them to get up and exercise and wiggle their fingers
Yeah.
and stuff. You couldn't sit for more than 2 hours. And
Really?
they were auditing the people's machines while I was there. It's the only reason I was aware of it.
the I've got a little heads-up display in my car that plugs into the OBD2 port, and I think it's every 4 hours it pops up and says you need to rest or something. It might be a little bit longer than that. First time I saw it though was the other day. I was driving for a good while, and all of a sudden it goes beep, 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 and a little cup of coffee popped up, and I'm like, oh, nope, I'm going to continue on driving.
Target number of steps. So that must be what the cup of coffee means. You're tired.
You're tired. Yeah.
Mhm.
Target steps is 4,000. That's the lowest number of steps you can put in there, which is below where I want to be. I don't go that far. Distances in miles or kilometers, inches or centimeters, pounds or kilograms. Fall asleep, it says 2100. Okay. Awake time is 9. Just normal stuff.
21 to 9 is quite a bit of sleep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I need keep this up. You got to have this beauty. You've got to have beauty rest.
Actually.
Device management. Here's the battery level at that was at that time, and these were the exceptions we were looking at. The personal information is lie, of course, and this is the Q1S watch. That's the brand name, I'm guessing. Settings. Probably settings are next. Oh, there's a battery charge. So you can do there's a larger battery charge. Connection management. You don't try to connect to it with your phone. You tell this to connect first. Smart reminders. It will send you if you get a text message, SMS, it'll bring it to your watch. It's a brief message. It's not big enough really. You can't answer it or anything like that. Hands-on screen, if you want to be able to flip your thing and turn on the screen, you can do that too. This one is you push the button. It's got a metallic button that you touch and it lights up. Hourly measure, every hour measure your various stats. And the firmware, it'll upgrade your firmware. This was up to date.
And how much did this cost?
Well, you couldn't afford it. It's way up there. This was $17.
Oh yeah, that's too much.
Way out of your price range.
Mhm. But if you want to wait 6 months, you can get it for 15.
And this is the
Only if China opens up again.
this is
But
the
you have to
file that it
disinfect it,
sends out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your EKG. This was today at 12:59 p.m.
Kind of curious how long it'll be before we start running out of stuff that people are going to be like, "Arr."
And I think this thing came from Taiwan, which I thought was interesting. Instead of like China.
Taiwan makes a lot of stuff.
And this is PDF, and it just pops up where do you want to send it, and you pick the app off the phone that you want to SMS it. You just pick that app, so it just passes it over. It passes the file over. Pretty cool. $17.
You're probably going to have to put a link in the thing or something, because I can't find that watch.
Try Q1S on eBay.
Oh, you bought it on eBay. Okay.
Yeah, they have two of them. You can spend 17 or you can spend 27.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Color?
No.
$10.
Yeah, $10 mainly.
So for one of them a newer model,
Don't know.
better blood pressure.
They look the same. Yeah. You have to examine. That's your problem. I just saw the cheaper one, $10 less. So
Q1S IP67 fitness tracker ECG PPG smart blood watch heart rate monitor.
Who said it?
$17 from China.
27 one might be waterproof a little bit more for swimming, maybe.
No,
At
it's
$17, I don't expect a lot of waterproof.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Where the 27 might be a
it
little better.
looks
I'm-
like exactly the same
Yeah, I'm
thing.
looking at that at 2341, and it's IP67.
It looks like it's exactly the same thing.
what's
Different reseller making
IP67?
$10 more off of
That's-
it.
That's
Spray it with water.
that's a international
Sure.
rating for.
Well,
Yeah.
it's probably a
It's like
vendor B is
splash-proof.
selling it for $10
Yeah,
more. making
splash
it.
proof is taking in the shower. You might make it.
Yeah, but the shower would be okay.
Go out in the rain and you'll probably be all right.
I also got the Real Link 5K. I'll be putting some more stuff on that next time.
That's kinda
Okay,
cool.
let's continue the loop. I started it. You got anything, Gail?
Nope, just working.
Next, your
Just the normal Linux rants.
your what? Yeah, well, we said Linux. We knew where that was going. I brought up, but that's good. Now it's good to hear. Well, you know, I see that. I don't know what that means, and some of the other guys don't know what that means about Windows 10.
So for the last 2, maybe 3 months, Microsoft has been just destroying print servers.
Why?
And it looks like they got fixed and now they're broken again.
Yeah. I understand.
That means I'm going to get a phone call from my dad. My printer's not working again.
Less likely to be an issue in 10, but we have a bunch of people on terminal services, and when suddenly 20 people at a time can't print, it becomes an issue.
That's an issue.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. Your name and
I'm Roy. I haven't been doing anything interesting. I've just been working a lot.
yeah, you working on stuff. What you working on? Anything? Anything?
Stuff.
I tried to stream audio over remote devices. We've stored MP3 or OGG files on and need to play back audio over radios. Been working on that for
For
quite a
personal
while.
use or? Oh, okay. I've always wanted that. I mean, I want to have a mixer and it goes into an audio system and I can drop it anywhere I want to. Or now that we got this, I listen to the radio on this, which has solved most of my problems.
So
I picked up a CD the other day and realized I didn't have a CD player.
Oh, it's
VLC
time for
is
your
your
yearly
friend?
backups. If you haven't done your yearly backups, it's time. Steve's not gonna miss that. You're not gonna miss
VLC is
that.
your friend. There's a CLVC that distributes with it, which is the command line VLC. It will play anything. I mean, it is amazing. And you can use
actually
it for
for you.
transcoding things.
I'm kind of interested in trying to block all the Windows 7 boxes so they don't get to the internet
Ooh,
in a generic way.
go unplug.
That would work.
The only way I can think is if you have some sort of UTM that listens for the browser string, and if it's running an older version of IE or
No, we don't
something
have
like
much.
that.
There's not any IE.
I don't
There's a lot of
know.
Chrome and Firefox and some Opera.
But if you're running Chrome, it should be as up to date on the 7 boxes as on 10. Why do you want to
As
limit
long
the
as
7
it's-
boxes from getting to the internet?
Well, they drop support for 7, right? In theory, it's just a good idea, and it also encourages people to change.
Okay.
Really,
The-
the only 7 boxes that are still running are dedicated to tools. They're tied to oscilloscopes or old software that we need for programming processors, or, they really don't need to be on the internet.
So, one way you could do it,
So it's wireless.
Well, just say, map it all and quarantine them on the firewall.
you can do that. Actually,
That's what I want to do with Jet.
I would use PS exec. We were talking about that earlier. Use PS exec to change their gateway interface. If you tell them the gateway is localhost or something else, they'll still work within the network, but they won't know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
And you can do that remotely.
I can do that with the DHCP server, but I gotta know the MAC of every one of those devices. Which is a solid solution. It's a solid solution.
Well, we probably don't have Landsweeper. Landsweeper tell you exactly what OS is on.
Yeah.
No, we don't have that.
Well, you can run,
SolarWind.
actually, so you can get a free trial for Landsweeper, and if you have enough machines to make Landsweeper a good thing, I would strongly recommend you get it. It is an amazing piece of software. But use the
Use the demo. or
use the
trial.
demo, and you can tell Landsweeper to push out this script and run it only on the Windows 7 machines.
It's Frank.
Hey,
Sir Frank. Greetings, sir.
I actually knew Frank was coming today.
Gonna have to get on the highway. Have a good time today.
Landsweeper.
That's all right.
oh, Landsweeper is incredible.
It is very nice. It's slowly, the price has been going up, but it's still
Yeah.
nice.
We're at the $600 tier, I think. Something like 3,000 machines, or 3,000 assets.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they consider a monitor to be an asset.
Yeah, that's my big problem with it. But yeah, I think we bumped up the, because of the monitors, the Joyful was like 780 or something when they bumped up another 100 a couple of years ago. But
Yeah.
it's still way cheaper than its competitor, which was like 1,600 or something.
Mhm. So if you're not familiar with Landsweeper, you set it up on one machine, you get a web interface, and if you have like phone numbers and Active Directory, when somebody calls you, you type in their name and it gives you a list of the hardware that they have and their phone extensions
Oh,
and
hi.
the serial numbers for their monitors and what
Their
kind of
machine, their
machine
Mac,
they've
what
got.
software is on it. You can set up SMTP and
Yeah.
talk to all your network switches and tell whether they're up or down, what ports are active. I mean, it's a full-blown network management utility.
And the
It is-
coolest feature on it is when you're looking at a machine, there's a button on the side of remote assistance. You click that and it connects to their machine. They have to okay it, at least in our environment.
Yeah.
And then you can see what's going on. You
It
send let me use your keyboard and mouse. They answer yes to that, and now you can use their machine.
It drops open VNC on their box and then uninstalls it when you're done after.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Really?
So when the user says okay, you
Yeah.
take control, it drops like a thin client. Or OpenVNC, and you can control it when you kill it.
I thought on my end it was running Microsoft Terminal Server Client / Offer RA. I hadn't played with it.
I would say, well, that's what our version was doing.
The reason I was thinking it
Drop
was
like a
doing
1 meg.
that is because with almost everything else I'm aware of, VNC included, if it pops up the admin privileges dialog,
Mhm.
it blanks the screen in VNC, and it doesn't for LANSweeper. I can type in my credentials.
Well, they can't see what you type in though.
Right, they can't see it, but I can see that I need to type it in, and with
Right.
VNC I can't because it's paused.
Yeah.
And then I have to tell them their local admin stuff, and I'm
Well,
loath to do
like I
that.
said, it might be a modified version of it. I just know it's real lightweight, and that's what it'll pop.
Mhm.
Like if you watch your terminal or your services,
Mhm.
like that's what pops up on their box is like an open VNC
Okay,
client,
I never
and then
looked.
it uninstalls when you kill the session.
I gotta try it.
But like I said, it's been 2 or 3 years since I've used it, but
Yeah.
it's nice. I thought it was kind of slick.
If you wanna see what it looks like, I've got access to my machine at work.
You can deploy and remove.
Oh, they probably, I only have, 25 to 40 machines that I'm worried about.
You'd be
Surely
able-
there's a free version for that.
There isn't, but at that point, you're probably at about $300 a year.
You can, well, that's one of the nice things too, is the inventory control. Ask what
Yeah.
software you have, and it'll tell you what versions. So if you want to like say, hey, this version's too old, and you can drop you got to build like a little widget or whatever, but it'll go out and yank that off those boxes, which is nice. But yeah, I used it to, we had like 85 laps in the warehouse, and I made an interface for all of them, and then like, so you can pull up a page and see which laps were green lighted, because what would happen is some of them would like glitch or whatever, and lose 2 or 3 in the warehouse when those aisles, the Wi-Fi didn't work, so it's like, oh, gotta bounce that, and then they're like, oh, well, that's on this switch, this port, because they're all PoE. It's like turn the port off, turn the port on.
Oh, okay.
Don't even have to go out there to do it. It's like woohoo!
That's a nice feature. I hadn't thought of that.
That's because it's usually 30 or 40 feet up on the wall, and then go up there and unplug it and plug it back into pain. But if you know what all ports and mapped them all and knew which ones you
So
target
you
the
need to
port off
com to them. You need to com to the routers to switch the ports. Cool.
Yeah.
Anybody wanna see this?
Well, let me show Frank something. Before you came in, I talked about the watch, fitness watch. There's a link now. That'll be go to the current meeting announcement, and it'll show you the link to this fitness watch. It does blood pressure, it does ECG, it'll send you a copy and all that stuff. So it was cute. $17.
If you have a heart attack, start your heart.
Yeah. Okay, so
Self-jumpstart.
you want to switch to
Soon you
the
have a full
screen?
Yeah, can I use that HDMI? That's probably easier than. Let's see, make sure there's nothing that's gonna get me fired here.
Jumped my own car the other day.
Is that snowball more? Microphone.
Microphone.
I got one.
Yeah,
Well,
it worked.
this
It
is
worked.
an awfully stiff cord.
There you go.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, well, sort of.
Second screen.
Yeah.
I see your cursor. I
a
see you
moment.
cursing. No. It's Linux. You can't be cursing. You would be cursing
It
that.
would be N curses.
Oh.
Oh, the jokes.
Okay, so this is my desktop at work, and this is Google Remote Desktop, which I think is wonderful. One of the better apps I use. So
Now this is the app and not the web app.
Well,
This is-
it's,
this is the web app. Yeah, they no longer support the the regular remote desktop as an actual client, but this does quite a few things. Not
It seems to be getting better, yeah.
Oh,
I'm not sure why it's not doing full screen properly, but because it's like the monitors sticks off the edge a little bit on both sides. Oh well.
It's,
So
yeah, it's just the thing
yeah.
going on.
Oh, stop that.
Seems
Got
like
Minesweeper installed.
How many machines roughly around this network?
On this one, about 200.
Oh,
Apparently.
Minesweeper, oh, okay.
So, yeah, and it has an update, of course, and we haven't paid so that we're running the help desk software, but it's currently doing a scan. Doesn't have much of its database filled up. These are the last assets that it's actually connected to. These are the users that have last logged in on our servers. This one's curious. This presenter it exists only to run the projector in the conference room. So somebody showed a
5:15, they were there after hours.
yeah. Well, no, that doesn't mean that's when they logged in. That's when Landsweeper noticed that they had logged in fairly recently. This is a list of all of my networks. We've got machines all over the place. So, here, Huntington, West Virginia, we've got a small office with 2 computers, a Linux box, a Brother printer, and a Xerox printer. And the Xerox printer is broken. I'm sorry, this is an HP printer. The others are telephones. They're not set up correctly, whatever. But this one was run by Dion. If I need to give her a call, wait, they moved the phone number on me.
That's because you didn't pay.
Yeah, apparently.
It's a feature.
Disconnect.
So,
click on her name.
actually, yeah, just hover over it. So there's her telephone number. I can give her a call. I forgot I was looking at the machine, not the user. So her machine is a Latitude 7470. It's a relatively new machine. This is how many 7470s we have in the company.
What's a 7470?
It's a model of Dell Latitude. It's a pretty decent one. That's the last model that still used the old style docking stations. Now they're all going to USB-C, which I don't like.
They're horrible.
Yeah. And the Dell USB-C docking stations are horrible.
Yeah.
We bought like 15 of them, and we've trashed 8 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, more than half.
We had we got like 7 precision desktops or laptops for engineers, and the new generation, they came out on the precisions first, and like half the docking stations don't work out of the box.
Nice. So,
They're just as expensive as the freaking machine.
so at this point, I have a list of one particular kind of machine, and I can go over here to deploy package, and I can run any of a list of things in here. I can remotely kill Internet Explorer on all of the 7470s. It's fun. I can do remote reboots of machines just for fun and giggles.
You used to be a popular guy.
So years and years and years ago, there was this little tiny piece of software. I don't remember what it was called, but it did a lot of things. It would open and close the CD tray. If you had a sound card, it would say things like "You and I are enemies forevermore," and just it was like Possession or something was the name of it. It was just stupid.
I remember that software.
I can export a CSV list of these machines. I mean, there's an amazing amount of stuff you can do on these. I've got 30 Linux boxes. There's the whole reason I'm at that company. These are my Linux boxes. I've still got a Pi plugged in somewhere.
Yeah, I see Raspberry Pi down there.
There's a couple
Couple
of
of
them.
Yeah.
3 of them.
I like my Pis.
You found your torrent box in your 3D printer.
They didn't. I didn't have a torrent box in there, but I did have a 3D printer with a Pi on it, and had that routed through the firewall. I could see what was printed. It was great.
Seems like there was.
So those
Software
Dells,
that-
those come with Linux pre-installed?
No. I mean, you can buy them with that, but there's no need. I mean, if you do anything that's anywhere near recent, Red Hat or Mint or whatever, everything just works. The days of having to try to figure out how to get your wireless adapter to work are long gone.
Now it's your fingerprint scanner. I haven't had
I-
those work yet.
Oh, really? So I've got had an HP that it took me like 10 minutes to get it to work. And it was tied in with Yum. I had CentOS on that machine. So when I go to install something, it scan the fingerprint.
Well, I could see Red
Yeah.
Hat and CentOS probably, because that would be why that feature is for enterprise.
Yeah.
My fingerprint scanner on this one doesn't work.
I tried to make it work.
Not,
It just didn't work out of the box.
I didn't really see the need for it, so I just never even messed with it. But it never worked with Linux,
Yeah.
and I'm not even sure that it works with Windows 10.
No, does CentOS do the camera
Yes.
facial recognition?
Oh, not facial
log?
recognition, no. So on the dashboard, I get stuff like, I've got 2 machines that have bad smart statuses, which I probably ought to look into. So this asset name, we use all of our machines are Dell, and Dell gives all of their machines a 7-character serial number, and a lot of companies that have Dells just use that as the host name. We do, it's easy. If somebody calls me and I can't connect to their machine, I can ask them what the name of the machine is. The sticker is right on top, they can see it. But these 2 machines are in predictive fail for their smart drives. One is a 250 gig spinning drive, and the other is a 500 gig spinning drive.
The 500 gig one sounds kind of old.
Oh, I have cases of 500 gig drives.
Yeah.
We've been replacing those things with SSDs across the board, and these will be. If you need drives, let me know. I literally have probably 400 hard drives. I've got to wipe them if I give them away, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Get good life out of good life.
Oh, yeah. So, do you know what a Dell 780 is? An Optiplex 780? Those are the older machines that kind of had curved steel sides. They were Core 2 Duos. I am using those as my Linux file servers at the remote offices. They've got enough room to get 2 drives in gracefully. I put in a couple, most of them are 250 gig spinning drives that are now 8-9 years old. I put them in RAID. It's software RAID. If one fails, I can ship a drive there and have them, I can tell them, pull out both drives, tell me the serial numbers you've got. This serial number
Have
is,
trouble with fans in some of those?
no,
Okay.
no, Dell has amazingly good fans. It's all Foxconn stuff, so, but I can hover over these and see that this one is Brandon Richardson's machine, and this one is Carrie Fleishel's. I can see the IP addresses, what kind of machines they are. So here I can, sorry. I know she's not there, so I can have fun. She uses a lot of different machines. Actually, I think the one that was failed, it hasn't seen for a while. On this particular machine, BVSL5V1. This is the software she has installed on it. So OneDrive shouldn't be on any machine in the company. That's why it's got a red spot next to it. And I can remotely uninstall it.
I can do inventory with that stuff.
Mhm.
Yep. Alright.
Yeah.
Cool.
So how many
So,
machines have Microsoft Teams, which I abhor?
Well, you don't inventory past
All of
the
them.
machine. You don't inventory the cards or anything like that. The drives.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't
it's got all
inventory the
that.
drives.
So
Yeah.
somebody like takes
So-
the drive, it'll tell you.
Well,
that somebody.
I'm talking about inventory for financial reasons.
Yeah.
So
Somebody
on,
take the RAM chip out, it'll alert.
Yeah.
Log it.
Well, yeah.
on this machine, if we look at config, disk, actually I think it's disk drive. It's a physical drive. This is the size. This is the serial number.
Does it produce a log telling you of the changes?
Yes.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
You could be the bad.
There
you
is
could be the
very
bad
few-
cop.
There is very little software that I feel okay spending money on, and I fight every year for them to buy me another year of this.
How much?
About $700, $600, something like that. From my perspective, it pays for itself in about a month, just in my ability to connect to a remote machine and not have to walk upstairs and find that person and get sidetracked 3 times.
Do you scan the change file every day? You should do that.
No, I don't. I scan it about once a week.
Oh, okay. Things are that slower. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
So in my company, if a piece of hardware disappeared, I could make a guess as to who it was and be right 90% of the time. I mean, there's only one person that's going to swipe anything out of there. Well, other than me, I mean.
And you got cams too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm the guy that manages the cameras as well, so.
Do you
With the
review
software, no doubt.
Do you do any scanning of the videos? Do you do a daily or weekly scan of the videos? I don't see how you could.
No, we don't, but we get audited basically monthly, and one of the audit questions is always send us a video of the northernmost exit from 9 until 9:10 a.m. on December 19th. And it has to show the timestamp in it, and frequently, and they almost always do outside doors, and they say they want to be able to see whether there's snow on the ground or what condition the flowers are in, if it's spring, because that's the only thing that you really can't fake.
Okay, you don't trigger anything on the outside though, because you'd be triggered all the time for snow.
We don't
or
use
rain.
triggered video.
Sensors,
We've got
Time
round numbers 20 cameras, and we record 100%.
Oh, okay.
If they ask what happened at midnight, we've got video of it, even if nothing happened. Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep it for a little while and then wear it out.
Yeah. Well, no, we have to keep at least 6 months.
6 months.
We have 9
That's quite a while.
terabytes of drive space just for video.
So this use this case.
Let's see.
I'm trying to keep track of Kenny. Frank and Kenny.
They disappear.
Mhm.
Is Kenny
No.
or is Jenny?
Kenny.
The genius, I mean.
What?
Disappear.
Oh yeah, Kenny disappears on us regularly, but that's what he does. It's his job. And he's good at it.
Operating system, huh?
Okay. That looks
Yeah.
way cool.
It is a nice piece of
Is
software.
it free for people who have 10 users or less?
Already has.
No, it's free for about 30 days.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, if you use it for 30 days, you'll check out a check. You will. I mean, it's just, if you have to deal with help desk or hardware or anything like that, this is just, or audits, oh God, yeah. This is just amazing software.
It's really nice when who was it? Not Corel, Adobe walks in and says, "You got 14 licenses or whatever being in use," and you're like, "No, I don't. I got 7."
Oh, and this is kind of a cool thing.
And they're like, "Oh, you got Landsweeper, nice," and then check you off, and off they go.
This is
Just saved you 3 weeks of.
the help desk that I maintain. It's got lots and lots of stuff on it. It just Buku documentation, stuff I do. Here's server setup. When I first started there, I was really good about documenting what I did, and then I kind of gave up because nobody else looks at this except me, which irritates me.
I hear you.
Sounds like my stuff.
Yeah. So,
Well, I still
yeah.
have to document.
But if you do a really good job, no one would notice.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
pisses me
so
off is
whoever
when
comes after you is
they
gonna
take
notice.
stuff out of my wiki and store it in external files otherwhere. I cannot explain to them a single source of truth is a good concept, and that they should be putting content in.
And
It's
And when they
unfair.
put it in Word files, it's like, it used to be searchable, now it's not. Yeah. So this is a thing. If you've got Linux boxes and you want to get an email every time somebody connects to it, these are the
Okay.
changes to it. It sends out an email to all of the recipients. I probably ought to go in and change that, as Ed's no longer with the company. And yeah, it just works. All sorts of stuff. And Spiceworks is a big thing. If you're doing a lot of work on, where'd it go?
You put that in your login script wherever it is.
Yeah. Well, this isn't in login. This is actually in
Something that it runs on startup or connection.
It's not a daemon or anything.
Mhm.
If you have, if you're using PAM, you can put. So I put this in etc ssh notify.sh, but you can put it in anything you want. This is a bash script, and it's run by PAM whenever SSHD allows a connection. It requires that you have a couple of things installed, MailX being the only one that I notice. But yeah, it creates a message, and it assumes that your network is up and all of that. If your network's not up, nobody's SSHing in anyway. But yeah, I get an email. If I SSH in, I get a message within a second. And where's my start menu? That's not it.
Is this just a text or is this a mail message? Does it send you
Mail
a mail
messages are text.
Okay.
It doesn't have any HTML in it. It's not going to be pretty. What it tells you is that
Pops up
this
on your
user,
screen.
this particular user logged in from this IP address at this time.
Is it sending you a mail message or a pop up on your screen?
It's an email message.
Okay, that's good.
And
SMS that.
We better. You got stuff, Leroy, tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We better start heading back toward the circus.
there you go.
I don't
Thank
know.
you very
I'm
much.
glad
I
you
don't
did
know
that.
if I need
That's
that
nice.
thing.
Or people who do stuff, that would be wonderful.
It's pretty slick stuff.
Next, what you got? You got anything working on?
Not at the moment.
That's one,
Right.
fun.
Right now, between a bunch of things. got a new job.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got any?
Hopefully get more stuff. Things
Not too much.
Stop being chaos.
Less Excel excites you.
Less what?
Excel excites you.
Not too much.
Hey.
What you do?
It's fully automated. I just take what the client gives me, dump it in, it generates my routing table sheets, cross-check states. It's pretty slick. It's one of the coolest things I think I've ever built. But that's been fun.
What about you? Got anything?
I was playing with MicroPython because when they already showed the cameras, I use this language.
Yeah, I was going to show you. I put the.
I was looking for different boards that use MicroPython, and I have a bunch of them that I used to program in C or in Arduino environment, and I load MicroPython to all of them to try several things. Each board can do different things with different version of MicroPython. But it's very nice to just to write code and hit the button. Instantly you have the application running. You don't need to compile and download the code. Just a script.
You still have my connection, Leroy, to pop up? Okay. I did the thing on, oh yeah, that's right. It's the watch link is in the meeting announcement. We're done with that. You did do a video in Wix on the identifying cat and dog.
No, this is not mine. This is from someone.
But you just pointed to it.
I sent the link.
But
the link there.
it was cute.
Yeah.
You know. It
Because
had
you asked about this application in
my comment.
the comment.
And then they had an app. The guys has an app that he points it at the cat, and it has a pointer, and it points at the cat.
Yeah.
And then he points it at the dog, and it points at the dog. It was real cute. And I needed one that differentiates between cats for my special cat.
But there is a way of train the camera to recognize different cats specifically. You need to create like 30 pictures of each cat to make a classification, and then you send it to a website. I then send the parameters for the program to identify which one is which.
Is it solid though? I want something.
Yeah,
that's
it's
solid.
pretty good.
Yeah.
As long as your cats
Differentiate
look
Mimi.
different.
You need to take like 30 pictures of each cat in different
Now
angles.
Mimi's orange and black, and the other two are black and white, so it should be able to pick her out easily
You
enough.
put a weight sensor on the one you wanted.
Well, that's true.
I mean, if your cat's, like my mom's got 12 black cats, I can't tell them apart. She can tell them apart. I can't tell them apart. So I doubt my camera could tell them apart.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Okay.
That's why you put colored collars on.
Yeah, well, I think that's how she tells them apart. But I don't care.
Vice President Leroy, are you ready to
I'm ready.
dance?
I guess I'm ready.
Rock.
So, this is more of a continuation. Got the AI camera. I modified the face tracking software a bit to start tracking April tags on the back of, and then I attached one on the back of this robot. So, we will see if this actually does what I think it will do, or if
In
it.
space.
I need to turn everything on, get everything ready.
I'm blind.
And did we not charge the battery?
Wow, it recognized
Mom, are
pretty
you?
good.
So,
Photo mom.
It's still crabbing on us a little bit.
yeah, I may have the angle off a little bit because I wasn't real sure.
Is that a LiDAR on top?
Yep, that's the LiDAR. Should go forward.
Oh, LiDAR is going after something.
Should go forward. We're not going forward.
Thought you were gonna ram it there for a second.
Follow me.
not gonna be able to get it to go real fast. It's sort of working. I had a work area about yay big to work on, and I thought it was kind of working. Come on.
It's odd how it takes to follow for seconds, but then it likes to back away from it and go to the right.
It's catching them. And periodically, you'll see the green light come on.
That's me. It's like
It's catching
every
them.
So-
iteration it starts going forward, but then the other 8 iterations it's like backing away and going right.
It's moving the wrong direction, and it loses focus almost immediately when it shifts. But it's finding it.
The original face tracking software that was on that I did last week. It's
Yeah,
actually
it's moving this way. It needs to move that way. If it moved that way, it would go after it.
the face tracking software was a little confusing about what he's.
Just because it was in Japanese.
Yeah, it still was a little confusing.
That's a neat little box though. How much does the LiDAR cost?
The LiDAR robot is like
$99.
$400.
A real robot.
Do what?
A real robot.
It's a real robot. It's the most expensive robot I've ever bought. And I bought it on sale for $300 and felt that I got a good deal on it. Anyway, it's sort of working. The camera, I set the it seemed to work a little bit better in black and white or grayscale. I guess they call it
For
grayscale.
April tag, yeah.
Yeah, for to follow the tag. The software was a little hard to figure out which was left and which was right. It was actually hard to figure. I thought left and right was right, but forward and back were a little hard to figure out. So I may have those backwards still.
We need to change this spin picture. We need to make it smooth.
Yeah,
You know?
there. It's going to go right to it.
Oh, there you go. Pretty good. Oh, yeah, bam.
Now the hard part.
There, it turned blue, so that's where it actually should stop at. So if we go forward a little bit, it should do just what it did. But now the camera died.
Oh no.
Crash.
And the camera's back.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the battery on it, you can tell it's getting weak. Don't let it run off the table. I know it was only like $100 there, but Frank probably hasn't seen the LiDAR. I think
No.
I think other people have seen the LiDAR robot. If you look up on the screen, there's a screen up there. Oh. It should show you what the LiDAR's seeing.
What is
Is
it?
it-
Oh,
is it-
grab the.
Okay.
There we go.
It's got a mind of its own right now.
It's grabbing along. It saw something. It thinks you're mom. Mommy.
The little joystick, the little remote, also shows the same picture. So it's sending it all via ESP now to the joystick.
It likes your picture. That's amazing. It went right for it.
It
See,
went
they
right
find-
for the
it found
menu.
it, It's
Yeah, what's
finding
that
it
menu?
multiple
Yeah.
Looks
times.
like intelligence.
It doesn't like those.
Nope, like that one.
Well, the camera's not even on. But
Oh.
that's all right. It's just doing stuff that's it's randomly doing stuff.
It saw something green.
These are some unique wheels here.
They are called Mecum wheels, and you
Now,
can spin in
There are
place.
many apps for this if it really works.
You can. What is that?
They don't slip on
You can scrape across the table. You can go forward and back and spin. You can go diagonal, more or less. So that one's got wheel encoders on it. It tries to keep all the wheels moving at the same way. This little cheaper one does not have the wheel encoder, so it slips and it slides a little.
That thing has impressive little gearboxes, though.
Yeah, it does. Actually, I think it's the same gearboxes that one uses. But that one's got the encoders on it.
it. Sensei was doing encoders. On the,
But the neatest thing about this one is how it can stay in place
How to
and move.
spin with the button?
You hit the button. You can go left and right, and it will stay right on that same line. Or you can go left and right while you're going forward, and it's kind of diagonal.
Moonwalking.
so what would you want it to slide?
Well,
Parallel parking.
that would be cool. If you were playing soccer or something, you could have it slide across the line.
You're gonna go pick up something with a robot, and you need to have it like this, and you could go
Yeah.
like that to pick it up.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Instead of having to do this and then having to go like that.
You remember, it's probably been 2 years ago, I had that robot that I had the RFID tags
Yeah.
laid out, and I
Yeah.
had it going. So if I knew that its orientation and I had wheels like that, I could have just made it slide across and then go up to it.
Particularly if you're trying to keep something in view. If you can get it at the right angle and do this number, that would be great, where you can keep it in view. But it requires some good software, which I wouldn't want to write. But it wouldn't be too bad.
If you were trying to like track an image or something, or
Mhm.
a person moving.
Or continuously shoot at a target that's moving while you're chasing it.
We need that software.
Oh.
The small. A turret.
This has
Nerf toys.
That would be a smart turret there. It can do this number.
I've got a. You're gonna have to watch it. There's a mode where it will go by itself, and it should avoid obstacles because
Wires are always not fair. There, avoid that. Avoid that. No.
I think it's hung up on
Running
the.
back up, it's not going anywhere.
You're too low.
Gotta be higher. Sensors up to where.
Yeah, we really don't want this one to hit the floor because
I was gonna say,
Oh, yeah. There you go.
so that's kind of its self-driving mode.
They found it, but it needs to be flat. That's what we run into with ultrasonics. It needs to be flat.
Your hand's probably a little low.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. The LiDAR is actually up
Anything.
in the spinning thing.
Up, there you go. The
What-
spinning
What's the
thing.
range of the,
2 or 3 feet? More?
Yeah, it's probably a couple of feet. It's probably at least a couple of feet. I would have to look.
That's up here, see? That's
There-
the spinning thing.
The specs for the robot said what the range was. Unfortunately, I have no control over it now. You guys have all the control.
Somebody put a laptop obstacle.
Let me see it. Get back there.
turns at a right angle?
Gonna have to go over the wires.
He wasn't sure about me, which is the general conclusion, consensus.
What you're saying is it needs something a little bit more lower. Like, watch out for.
It's the spinning thing, yeah, up. Oh, okay.
It's a spinny thing.
It's a spinning thing, Leroy. Oh, not the switch.
The
That's a technical term, spin
the,
thing.
the power button is in the strangest spot ever devised
Oh, okay.
forever.
What's that?
So you stick your hand in front of it to get in the way of it, and then the power button's gonna run away from you.
Especially if it's in that mode. But
Well, you need a toggle button
Kind of like my cats. Jeez.
to cycle through mode.
it is heavy. These are stepper motors, not the same motors.
There are how many packs of 4?
12 volt, 12 volt. They're,
Oh, those are
What is
stepper
inside
motors.
I don't know.
They did pretty good. You know, you can control. You should be able to control the angle pretty good with steppers if you have some precision on them.
There is absolutely no comparison between what this robot, this one here, and what this robot can do. This is the $44 chassis. This is the $400 chassis.
All I need to do is recognize cats. How much am I going to spend to recognize cats?
About $100.
And always chase.
You want software.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do.
Well,
Just recognize it.
Okay, this camera,
Yeah.
the camera itself is like $27.
Okay.
So if you just want to recognize cats, $27. If you want to recognize cats and have it do something,
I need to recognize cats, and when it sees this cat, turn it on. I want to just recognize one cat.
and shoot it,
I didn't say that. Has crossed my mind, but I didn't explicitly say that.
You just
this yellow or orange box is an ESP32 with a screen. So the ESP32 is controlling the robot, but it's getting information from the camera.
Don't need a robot. All I
So
need
you-
is a contact closure.
Well, you probably could do that with
You can
just
use
the IO.
any Arduino
The
and
camera
the camera.
Camera.
The cheaper camera, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
enough.
say, couldn't a regular camera
How
do
much
it?
costs the camera, the other camera without
Cheaper camera?
Like $17.
This camera includes a screen and a battery, but there is another one that is cheaper,
It's like $17.
17.
Okay, I'll send you a note. Which one
There's-
should I get for $17?
there's-
Can you tell the difference between a cat and a dog?
Yeah. You should be able to tell a difference between a cat and a dog with no problem.
This camera is a little better with the low light conditions than the other one. Maybe you need to have some light close to the camera.
Well, what's the difference in price between the low light one and the high light one?
But the good camera, the better camera includes the battery and the screen. And the camera that is not so good comes without battery and without screen.
Yeah, I don't need a battery.
You want this screen. If you're going to do any development, you want
I
this
mean,
screen.
we will find to have a better camera in the other configuration, but they don't have
I
it.
was gonna say, my question would be is how far away do you need to recognize the cat from?
Close.
Cat's
A foot
gonna-
away.
Cat's gonna move too.
Only using 22 shorts.
Yeah, he'll probably be moving fast. How fast?
At least after. Yeah.
No, he'll be. The cat's gonna come up to the box, and he's gonna. There's the cat sitting in front of the box, and the box is gonna open the door, and you can get in. Yeah, there it is.
This is
That's so cute.
this is one camera.
It's a different camera. It's the same.
This cost $90 camera. Do you think that this camera already have the I/O pins to control
Oh, okay. $19. Is it good? The analog indicator is just what kills me. The servo indicator. That's it. They didn't show a dog in front of it. I need one that's smarter than that. I want to say, hey, my cat, this cat.
Saying is you don't want the neighbor's cats getting in your cat door.
No, I got
Or
pork chop
your-
cat, and I got the skinny cat. And the skinny cat is old and ancient, and she needs a good food. And won't eat the rest of it. And mama cat will get in there, she'll eat everything she can get to.
There's a cat, and it should say cat.
Now, I believe you can buy a commercial product that will have a cat door that opens with a Wi-Fi tag.
There's a dog.
Just
Yeah.
if you just want
Have
to
you
go
tried
solve
putting
this.
anything on
There's
the
a
cat?
dog.
Ever.
You can put the RFID tags in the cat.
In the
It will-
cat.
It will inject them under their skin.
Or just
She
duct
has an
tape
ID
it on
tag.
there. They like that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's what you should be reading.
Okay, do they have one that reads
Cat.
the cat ID
Yeah.
for $20?
I don't know.
That's a good idea, though. I
Cat.
need to look that up.
I think somebody likes cats more than dogs. They only showed one dog.
Did they have a dog?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you've got a tag already on it, then you just need a reader.
So this camera right here is that it's the same that CB camera, Sippy camera that I had
It
3 or
looks
4
familiar.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's the same. He's not using the screen on it, and you can get it cheap without the screen. But it's the same it's the same chip and the same camera lens that is in the cheap $17 one of these that's in a little case. So it should work almost identical to.
I need the superior one because of the light conditions will change.
Well, if you want
You can
one
use this.
with good light,
Okay.
This is
This-
the one of the video.
yeah.
$19.
Okay.
This
This one's better though, supposedly.
this one
Yes.
should be better,
Okay.
a lot better. It's
And-
it's using a different sensor and a different. It's just better. It's
Which one?
this one.
Against the other one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that one's using the same sensor
Which is
as
your job?
the Unit 5.
Oh, okay.
So
But it has a bigger lens.
it has a bigger lens.
We react to less light.
Yeah.
So where is their temperature and humidity sensor on there? There's a PIR, a buzzer, a push button.
They're
Oh, it's got
right there.
PIR.
Right there.
That makes sense.
That's your temperature and
Yeah,
humidity
okay.
sensor.
The PIR tells
start to
look,
work.
says look, somebody's there. Look.
So start looking. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's, like 2 weeks away.
I don't really know
It's like
why
a
you
two-week
need a
show. It means I got
temperature and
2
humidity
weeks to
sensor
document
or
it.
LEDs, but you know.
They just hooked
I
it
remember
in.
that.
Right.
I made the mistake of giving people too much notice before I left in the past. I recommend no more than required.
I don't have an immediate successor.
That's not your
So-
problem.
Yeah, it's not your problem.
Next week, I have the Husky lenses that I don't think I've brought in here yet. They're still based on the same chip that one is, but I want to. I'm going to go down here to the makerspace and print a roadmap, a big roadmap, and the Husky lenses are supposed to be able to follow the roadmap. So next week, hopefully, I can get that done.
Husky lenses
So those recognized dogs.
for camera
It
lens.
does.
Cameras?
Yeah, AI camera.
Last time I
AI
was here, they didn't
cameras.
have the center over there.
No, you've been gone. You're completely out of the loop. You have no idea what's going on.
Are you going to use them to drive your robot?
Probably a different robot. Yeah.
Used to drive a different, used to guide robot.
I'm
And
done. I'm done playing with this. I might do something with that. I don't know.
okay.
We'll see which robot.
Is it just Husky? Is there a model number or anything?
It's a Husky lens by DF Robot. They're more or less brand new.
I'm just shocked that with all this AI camera stuff, we hadn't thrown anybody in. I'm just shocked. I'll put this up by DF Robot.